Hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Don and I'm joined with Nikhil.
Hey guys.
And in today's video, we're going to talk about how you can build your own MIDI controller. So let's get into it.
Now before we get into building a MIDI controller, let's show you the one which we already have over here. So this is a controller that I made using a very cheap Amazon cardboard box. And as you can see, there's a bunch of these buttons and knobs and a joystick. And these are sensors that you can find for really cheap online. And all of this is hooked up into this Arduino Leonardo microcontroller.
Yeah, so the reason why we used an Amazon box is because it's cheap. Everyone has access to one, and if you want to go a little fancy, you can also use things like acrylic sheet or fabricated metal or even a tiffin box that you have lying around.
Like Tupperware.
Like Tupperware. It's also important to note that the hardware that we bought is also pretty cheap. So you can find them very easily, like Nikhil said, online. And I think we spent around $1,500 for all the hardware. And if you want to get all this hardware, we have a link in the description that you can check out yourself. Now, before we start building our controller, the first thing you need to understand is the brains of our controller. In this case, we're using something called the Arduino Leonardo. Now, this is nothing but a mini computer. It's also called a microcontroller.
Yeah, and just like a regular controller or just like a regular computer, all it does is takes in raw data and processes it into information. And in this case, we are using a bunch of these sensors, hooking it up to this controller, and we are getting a MIDI controller out of it.
Now, the next thing we need to understand is our sensors. Now, sensors are nothing but our input devices that will be connecting to our Arduino.
And for this project, we'll be using three types of sensors. The first one is a push button, and it sort of acts like a pad on a regular MIDI controller, sends note on and note off. And similarly, we have this thing called as a potentiometer, and this works like a knob on a regular MIDI controller. And finally, we have this XY controller, which you might also know as a joystick, and this works like a pitch bend wheel on a regular MIDI controller.
Yeah, so again, all these parts are very easy to find online and they're very cheap. Now, another thing to keep in mind is in order for all this to work, we will be using a bit of coding that will be loading onto the Arduino. But to make things easy, you don't have to learn coding yourself. We've provided all the details in a detailed step-by-step instruction that Nikhil has actually written out on our platform. The link to that is in the description below. Next, we have our I/O. Now, our I/O is our inputs and outputs. If you notice on our controller, we have these terminals. So there are 24 terminals. These are where we're going to plug in our cables that will connect to our actual sensors. Now, we have three types of terminals. We have power distribution, we have analog inputs, and digital I/O. Now, all our sensors require power, but our potentiometer and our XY controller will be connected to our analog terminals, and our buttons will be connected to our digital terminals.
And yeah, another thing is that in the Arduino Leonardo, we don't have enough terminals to distribute power directly. So for that reason, we'll be making use of this breadboard. So we can connect the power terminals to the breadboard and have it distribute it across multiple channels, so we can connect power to all of our sensors conveniently.
Now let's talk about preparing our housing. Our housing is going to host all of our sensors as well as our controller. We're using a basic Amazon box, and we already have one made over here. Now all we've done is made some simple cuts in order to make a nice front panel for us. And we've also used hot glue in order to stick some of these panels together. We've also used some very basic electrical tape as well as some L-clamps that you can purchase at any hardware store. In order to give some support to our front plate, we've created this back plate out of plastic that you can find in any of your takeout boxes. So we have these takeout boxes that we get from Swiggy or Zomato when we order food, and we've cut that plate in order to give the front of our box some support. Then we went ahead, measured and cut holes in our plastic plate in order to mount our various hardware. And then we just hot glued the plate to our box.
And now it's time to understand how these connectors work and pair them with the Arduino using the breadboard. So let us first start with the potentiometer. And as you can see on the potentiometer, we have 3 pins. The left and the right pins are for the power, and the middle pin is what gives us the live reading basically the position as I'm turning the knob. So let's start by connecting it. So I'm going to take this male to female single lead wire and connect the female side to the left and connect the other end to the 5-volt pin on the Arduino's power module. And similarly, I'm going to take another cable, connect it to the rightmost, and this one goes into the ground. So now our power circuit is complete. Now what's left is the middle pin, which shows the live reading, and I'm going to do the same thing. Connect it over here, and the other end goes to one of the analog module pins. So let us connect it to the first one, A0. So basically this is the connection. Now you might notice if I need to start introducing more knobs or buttons, I don't really have any extra 5-volt pins. So that way I cannot supply power to every individual sensor directly from the Arduino. And for this reason, we'll have to be using the breadboard to distribute the power. So now let us go ahead and connect the breadboard to the Arduino. And for that, I'm going to remove these cables. And let's start by connecting the power modules to the breadboard. For that, we are going to need these male to male single lead connectors. And I'm going to take 2 of these. Connect the first one to the ground of the Arduino, and on the breadboard put it on the rail marked as negative, and take the second one, connect it to the 5-volt terminal on the Arduino, and connect the other side to the positive. So now we can say that the power is now distributed across the channels through the breadboard. So now let's go ahead and start connecting our potentiometer through the breadboard. So I'm going to use the male to female. Again, do the same thing. Set up the exterior, the left and the right connectors for the 5-volt and the ground. Connect the left one to the 5-volt and the right one to the ground. You could do this on any of the parallel rails. Okay, I think that's done. And now for the middle connector, which is the live pin, let's do the same thing. Let's connect it to the A0 on the Arduino. Now that we're done setting up the potentiometer, let's move on to the buttons. So as you can see, the button has 2 terminals, and to connect this to the breadboard, we'll be using these loose single lead wires. And what we need to do right now is connect one of them to the positive rail and the other one to the negative rail. So I'm going to take 2 of these wires and take this longer end lead and hook it up to the first terminal. You might also want to twist it so that it's firmly in its position, and do the same thing with the second wire to the second terminal. Alright. Yeah. Now let us proceed to connect the other end to the breadboard. So we're going to take one of the leads and connect it directly to the positive rail, and take the other lead and connect it to the negative rail but through a resistor. Now we are using a resistor here. Let me set this up. We are using a resistor here to make sure that there is no current flow when the button is off. And the resistor that I am using here is of 330 ohms, and you can use anything between 220 ohms to 1000 ohms. So there's one more step left in setting up the button, which is to make sure that the signal goes into the digital input when the button is on. And to do that, I'm going to take one of these wires, connect it on this pin to which the resistor is attached. Connect the other end to one of these digital inputs. Let us connect it to the digital pin 0. So that is about connecting the buttons. So we have our potentiometers done, we have our buttons done, and what's left is to connect this joystick. For this, we're going to be using 4 male to female wires. And let's go ahead by connecting the first one. So it's important to note that 2 of these are supposed to go to the analog inputs, and the other 2 have to be connected to the 5 volts and ground for power respectively. So let's start by setting up the ground connections and the 5 volt connections. So the first pin happens to be the ground. The other end, I'm gonna set it up directly on the negative volt. And let's take one more cable, strong cable. Yeah, let's take the other cable, set it up to the 5 volt pin, which is the second one, and put the other end directly here on the positive rail. So we have the ground and the 5 volt setup. The power is done. So what's left is the analog inputs. So as you can see, there is VRX and VRY. So basically this is for the XY controls. And I'm going to take one, put it on the X, set the other end directly to an analog input, and take another male to female cable, put it on the Y, make sure it's firm and all the way in, put the other end Yeah, I think that's about it. So now we have our buttons, our potentiometer and the XY joystick connection set up, and all that's left is to hook this up to your computer and get the Arduino code running and the Max for Live codes running.
Now that we have some connection set up, our next step is to connect our Arduino to our computer so we can test our sensors. Now in order to do this, we need to download and install 3 major softwares. The first one being Arduino IDE. Now this software will allow us to load code onto our Arduino so that we can test our sensors or use our sensors. The next software is Ableton Live. Now this is our DAW that we'll be composing our music on. And the last thing we need is a kit called Connection Kit for Max for Live. Now this will help us connect our actual controller to different functions within Ableton Live. Now if you want to know how to install these softwares, make sure to follow the full article that Nikhil has listed out on our platform. The link is in the description below.
Let us proceed to connect the Arduino to the computer. So here we have this USB cable where you have this micro USB on one side and the USB standard on the other side. I'm going to hook up the micro USB to the Leonardo and the other side to the computer. So now we can proceed to open the Arduino IDE software. Now once the software has loaded, you see a blank program called as a sketch. Now we don't really have to write any codes on this. All we have to do is go to File, Examples and Fermata. So under Fermata you have a program or sketch called as Standard Fermata, and we just need this program to run, because once it runs, it will ensure that all your connectors and sensors are detected by the software properly. So I'm going to go ahead and feed this onto the Arduino hardware. To do this, I have to click this button called as Upload.
And what this button is basically doing is it's uploading that code onto the Arduino so that later whenever we connect it, we don't have to do this process over and over again. It'll automatically detect all our connectors.
Yeah, now it says done uploading. That means your program has successfully loaded onto the hardware. Now what's left to do is open the DAW, which is Ableton Live, and like we discussed, we need to have the connection kit. So let me go to Packs, and over here you can see under connection kits we have a device called as Arduino. So let us load that up onto the track.
Now, if you don't have Connection Kit already on Ableton Live, you can go to maxforlive.com, or you can also download it through the software itself.
And we have given the link in the description. So this is what this program looks like, and all we need to do is make a connection. So as you can see here, there are two divisions. There's an analog tab and there's a digital tab. So let's start with the analog. So if you go back, we connected on the A0 input a potentiometer. So I'm going to go and do that mapping. So here where it says map under parameter, let's click that for A0, and let's click on the gate of the arpeggiator. So now when I move the knob, you can see that the parameter value changes from minimum to maximum. Let's now test out the joystick, and as you can recall, we have connected it to the A1 and the A2 inputs, and on the Arduino, let's go ahead and map A1 and A2 to something. So I'm going to click on this and let's say rate, and let's just try moving the joystick in the X direction. So as you can see, the mapping is working. It defaults to the center value. And now for the A2, let's map it to say the number of steps. And let's try the Y direction. So you can see the X direction and the Y direction map properly. So now what's left is to test out the button. So for the buttons, we need to come into the digital input tabs, because remember we connected it to the digital 0 pin. So for that, I'm going to hit on D0, the parameter map, the same procedure. So click on map and let's try hitting the on off button of the first track. And now let's take this button. So as you can see, when the button is pressed down, the track is on, and when I let go, it is off. So that's about it. All the connections we have done so far are working perfectly fine, and I think now we can
start building our controller.
Yeah.
Right? So now that we've tested everything, we know our board works, our connections work. So now all that's left to do is to connect the rest of our sensors and mount all our hardware into our box. So let's start. And we're finally done building our controller. It took us some time to get all the wiring done and all the connections put together, but it's working, we've tested it, and it looks good. Now, another thing you want to do is you want to secure your connections once you're done. We've done it using a glue gun, a hot glue gun, because it's very easy to use. But if you feel comfortable using a soldering iron, soldering your connections together is also a great way to make sure your connections are secure. So now let's just try out a couple of knobs and buttons and see if it works.
Yeah, let's do that. Alright, so I'm going to go back to this audio effect. So I'm going to load up Arduino. There's no need to run the IDE program again,
because we already did it the first time.
So let's test out the knob first. Okay, so I'm going to map this to the volume button. So you could just move the first knob, yeah.
And there it goes.
Awesome. And next, let's check out one of the buttons. So I'm going to click on map. Let's trigger the on off. So just try triggering, I think that's the first one.
This one?
Yeah. If not that, then it's this one.
Is this one?
Yeah. Yeah.
There it goes. There. It's working. Yeah.
Awesome. And finally, let's just test out the joystick as well.
Yeah.
So I think A4 is what we map to the joystick, so I'm just going to give, okay, the rate.
Okay.
Yeah, just try forward XY.
Yep, it works.
Awesome.
So everything's working. Our controller is put together. It's a fun project to work on. Now again, like I said, all these components are super cheap. You can buy them for 1,500. Everything is available online. Again, if you want to go through this in detail, make sure to follow the link in the description. Nikhil has written out this article in great depth where he's actually listed out the different types of parts, where you can get the parts, and how you can put this entire thing together. Now it's important to keep in mind that this version of the controller will only work with Ableton Live because we're using a Max device in order to control these different sensors. We could also build this controller to work with any DAW, and that would require a bit of extra coding to be added onto the Arduino controller, and that would mean we can assign CC values and have things like pitch bend, modulation, key bindings, and have an actual MIDI controller that works with any DAW you choose. Maybe we'll do that in a future video, get a better casing, and maybe use some better hardware, but we'll look into that later. For now, give this a try. You don't need any prior experience with electronics or coding to get started with this. It's a great project and extremely fun to try out. Make sure to go through the full exercise with Nikhil on our platform. If you have any questions on this build, you can ask us there and we will answer your questions. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon to receive future notifications from us. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.